My name is Officer Dor. Some of you might have met me during the first meeting. Uh, I'm from Ghana originally. I've been here for 15 years. Um, yeah, I've been with OMIS PD for almost 2 years. 1 year as uncertified and one as a certified officer. Um, let's see. I like soccer. Favorite team is Man U, Real Madrid. Uh, what else? I'm a big video gamer. Obviously, I play FIFA a lot. That's my thing. Um, I speak 5 languages. Um, I don't know. I just like making people smile. I like if there's anything I can do to help you, that will make me happy than taking you to jail or giving you a speeding ticket or anything like that. Um, so my goal is not to come out here and get you guys, but rather to you know see if I can turn your day into a better one. So yeah, that's a bit about me. So we're gonna get started here. And please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to stop me. I'll do my best to answer your questions. Um, so we're gonna start with active shooter response. I'm not sure how many of you heard about or read about the recent mass shooting in Colorado, Boulder, at a supermarket. A police officer also died there, unfortunately, and it's quite sad. That's unfortunately America is it's quite notorious for having active shooter around. So with this program, I'm going to share with you guys what you do should you find yourself in that situation. And now I'm praying that none of you have to ever experience this, but just in case you do, at least you have a bit of knowledge of what to do to help yourself and others around you. Okay, can anybody see the screen?
Yes, we
You can
can.
see it.
Everybody can see the screen, yeah?
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
right on. All right, so first, for help, that's our information, University Police Department on campus, emergency. If it's an emergency, dial 4 and then 911. Don't just dial 911 because that will go straight to the county and then the county has to reroute it to us, which could be, precious seconds. So if it's an emergency you want to reach us, dial 4, then add 911. Okay. If it's not an emergency, just dial 662-915-7234. If you're trying to reach the city police, Oxford Police Department, if it's an emergency, you can dial 911 as usual. If it's not an emergency, 234-2400. And then we have the county sheriff's office. And theirs is 234-6421.
I'm sorry, officer. I missed
Okay.
something. So if it's emergency, we can call we can just dial 4911, or we have to include those other numbers.
No. You can just dial 4911.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and it will reroute you to our dispatcher. Or like if you forget you dial 911, either way, the county will reroute that call to us and we'll come and help you.
Okay, thank you, officer.
All right, stay connected. So let's see. So we do have an emergency website, and which basically sends out alerts. Should there be like anything happen on campus, weather related or active shooter or anything at all, just to keep students and faculty and staff aware whether to come to campus or to evacuate from campus. You can sign up for it for Red Alert. I'm sure most of you probably have, right? I'm gonna take that as
Yes,
a yes.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna take that as a yes. Second. Does anybody here know anything about LiveSafe app?
Well, I don't. I have no
Okay.
idea.
Okay, so LiveSafe app is a really crucial instrument to have in your phone, app to have in your phone. It's basically if you see somebody is committing a crime or something bad, and you want to get in contact with us without calling us, you go on this app and then you type in, hey, I need an officer at so and so location, and you basically text him with the dispatcher. You talking to a real life person. Then the dispatcher is gonna give you instructions of what you do while the dispatch the officers to you. The Live Safe app also shows your location, real-time location. So if you move from another location to another location, we know where you are, so we can, see how best to direct officers to get to you as soon as possible. So whenever y'all get a chance, go on your phone and type in, Google Store or Apple Live Safe app and just sign up. I think it's a really good tool to have, just in case of an emergency. You never know. Okay, all right, lockdown and shelter in place. All right, so again, active shooter, right? Lockdown. This is a term used for active shooter incidents or other violent intruders incident. Lockdown on Ole Miss campus is a bit different from other, like, high school or community college. Um, so basically, the lockdown refers to find a safe place, right? Either you or maybe two or three people find a safe place that you can secure yourself and stay there until the proper authorities come in and they say, hey, I'm Officer Dor, it's my badge number. You say it's safe to come out. But until then, you don't hear from us. You stay there. Make sure the lights are off. No cell phones, and you don't want to give your location away to the shooter. So make sure you can lock that door, secure it, put whatever you can behind the door, so the intruder doesn't have access to you. Okay, and also shelter in place, which is relatively used for emergency weather or other disasters, stuff like that. Any questions, concerns so far? Okay, I think that I said enough. All right, definition of an active shooter. So one or more people actively engage in killing or attempting to kill people in a confined and populated area. And a good example is the picture you're looking at right now. That is the student union. You see how populated it is, right? In a confined space. Someone walks in there, their goal is to like kill as much people that you can, kill or injure as much as they can. That is their goal. Um, so you tend to see, most of the situation, you tend to see active shooters, going to like shopping malls, schools, churches, anywhere that is a congregation. That's where they want to go, right? For example, the Columbine High School massacre. This happened in April 20th, 1999. 12 students and one teacher were killed, more than 21 injured. This shooter used firearms and explosives as well. So historically, this was the first actual massacre that was covered by major news in the United States, the first one ever. And this actually helped us, redesign how we're gonna respond should there be an active shooter anywhere on campus or anywhere, because prior to this, law enforcement in this country, we just didn't have an experience of like how to respond should something like this happen. But after this, now we have better strategies in place to help the public get to cell, get to a safe area, and hopefully apprehend the attacker. All right, so we get to the attacker, right? There is no profile for an active shooter. They may have an avenger or revenge mindset. Sometimes they might broadcast intentions on social media. Most of the time, active shooter is they're loners. They don't tend to talk to a lot of people. They want to be by themselves. And like the slide says, they sometimes broadcast the intention on social media, like, they don't care about the repercussion. They really don't, because they've either made up their mind that, hey, if I start this process, there's a good chance I'm not coming back. That is why we tend to tell students, if you're on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you see, someone putting like, oh, I want to blow a building up, or I want to kill people, or anything like that, in that phrase, that should be a big red flag. That's when you should like contact, your local police department, so they can investigate and make sure that doesn't turn into something big. All right, so some of the warning signs to report: history of violence or exposure to it, drug, alcohol abuse, dependency, mental illness, thoughts of suicide, stalking, harassment, threatening behavior, isolation from others, decline at work, class attendance and grades, negative family dynamics or support. So these are some of the signs to look out for if you like, friends or family members, you see anything like this, like don't wait for it to get bad. They might be hurting bad and they might need help, but they're probably not gonna tell you. So you see sounds like this, best thing to do is report it and have like the proper authorities come and assess the situation. Um, so right. So next we're going to a law enforcement role. During an active shooter, our role, most important, is to find the shooter and stop him. Right. So we're going straight for the danger. We got to make sure that we find this guy, sweep the building, and if we can arrest him, fine. But our main goal is to stop the shooting, stop the killing. We'll secure the area, we evacuate the injured, and then provide medical treatment. And this order is very important, right? We can't have it like any other way. This is like the way we go through it. We stop the shooter, secure the scene, evacuate the injured, and then provide um, medical attention. All right, a couple of actions to take should you find yourself um, in that situation. One, avoid or run, right? For example, let's use the union as an example. So you're in the union and the shooter comes to the front. What's it? Trying to see a good example. Chick-fil-A is that right? He's standing like ordering food, Chick-fil-A, and then he comes through there and starts shooting, right? If you can run, run. If you can't, there's a counter at Chick-fil-A, right? Bolt over the counter, take cover, and just try to put as much distance as you can between you and the shooter. Always be aware of your surroundings. It doesn't matter if you're in class or if you're in the grove or whatever. Always be aware of your surroundings, right? Know your exit if you're in the building, both primary and security exits. In case that happens, hey, I can go to this exit and leave the immediate building. Try not to attempt to carry anything. If the shooting starts, your main concern, your number one priority is to make sure that you survive. You have to survive. Drop everything, your laptop, phone, I don't care what it is, drop it and run. All right. But there is an exception. Put your backpack on if you have time. Only if you have time. But like I said before, sometimes in this situation, time, you're probably not gonna have time. So whatever can make you run fast, drop it and just take off. You want to make sure that you go back home to your family at the end of the day. Okay. Call 911 once you feel safe. Move quickly and keep your hands visible, and then follow instructions of law enforcement once the area is secure. Okay. The next is deny, hide. Right. You want to lock away, secure or barricade the door. Always barricade the door. Use the chairs, use the table, use the bookshelf. Anything you can find around you, use it to barricade the door. Turn off the lights, hide, and build cover if there's time. Silence all cell phones and all other devices. If you want to, when you turn off the lights in the room and you're using your cell phone, he can peek through the window or he can look under the door. Under the doorway, there's always space, right? To help with our airflow. You have your cell phone on, there's a good chance that light is going to illuminate and expose your position. You don't want to do that. So make sure that your cell phones are off, completely off, not on silence. All right, next, again, call or text 911. Again, it says call or text. So with the Live Safe app, since you find yourself in a situation you cannot give your location away, this would be a good time to text the dispatcher, let them know, hey, this is where we are, we need help, medical attention, so we can get you as soon as possible. Keep people quiet and as calm as possible. Begin looking for items that can be used as weapons. This is very important. Your book bag could be used as weapon. Your pen could be used as weapon. The chairs as weapon. Anything that you can hold in your hand can be used as weapon. And I don't take this lightly at all. Again, you want to go home at the end of the day. So whatever you can find in that room, use it as a weapon. defend, fight, right? So defending against an active shooter is the last resort. But again, you deserve to survive. You gotta go home. You want to live. Position yourself against the wall to the side of the door. All right. You always make sure you have at least 3 to 5 people when you try to defend against the shooter. All right. It's always good to have a backup group of defenders as well. Do not hesitate. It's you or him. Listen, at the end of the day, I want to go home. So I gotta have the right mentality that, hey, I'm willing to take this person's life, or I'm willing to hurt this person so that me, myself, or whoever's behind me can go home. You know, I don't want to die. I have a lot to live for. We all do, right? Do not hesitate. If you hesitate, I'm sorry, there's a good chance you're gonna die. All right. And also take away the shooter's mobility, right? So he comes in, you want to aim for the leg.
He doesn't care.
Thank no problem.
If you can, you wanna take away their mobility. Like with the 3 to 5 people, tackle him if it's possibility. Go for the legs first, and then one is down, you jump on him and you secure the gun as much as possible. Then you wait for law enforcement to come in and tell you what to do from there. Okay. Don't try to be a hero. That's another thing I forget. Don't try to be a hero. This is not the time to be a Superman or Batman or whatever. If you do have some experience in karate or self-defense, utilize it carefully. You know, like with the previous slide. Do not hesitate. Make sure you take away his mobility. Okay. Just don't try to be a hero and get yourself shot. All right. So distract and divide the shooter's attention and ability to pick targets. Grab the shooter's hand to control where the weapon is pointed. Separate the shooter from the weapon and secure it away from everyone else as well. Once the shooter is no longer a threat, resecure your area. Verify that it's actual law enforcement outside your door before you let anyone in. All right. Only 100% way is to monitor communications. So someone comes to the door, knocks, hey, Officer John with Lafayette County Sheriff Department. Yeah, you don't open the door. All right. The best advice or the best course of action is to say, hey, Officer John, can we see some identification, please? And make sure that they slide the identification under the door. If they say they don't have any, do not open the door. Because guess what? It could be the shooter, right? So you want to make sure that you verify that person's credentials before you even think about opening that door to them. Okay, that is very, very, very important. And then lastly, I think, yeah, that's it. So some of the sources used for this presentation was obviously Universal Mississippi website, and then Alert Crash, that's a civilian response to active shooter course, which basically you guys just went through. All right, so any questions?
I have just one question. I know you covered it. I just ask for more clarification.
Okay.
So if I am in Chick-fil-A and there is someone who went in with a gun and he started to shoot, so I myself, the very first thing that I would think to do is to go under the table. Because if I tried to run away, I would be shot. What do you think the first reaction?
Right. Your first, I like where you're coming from, but it all depends on where the bullets are coming from, right? And you're right. You do not want to run in the general direction of the shooter. Now, that's why I said when you are in Chick-fil-A, going behind the counter, there's a cement, you know, it acts like a barricade, you know, but you covering under the table is not really a good spot because it can easily aim at you, shoot you in your leg, you will cry, you make noise, he knows where you are, it's game over, you know. So when I say run away, not necessarily run the opposite direction. Okay, you don't want to put yourself in the general spray of the bullets. All right, so let's see. This is quite embarrassing. I'm trying to see if I can give you a good scenario. Let's see. Okay, the second floor of the union, right? You have the coffee place, you have the bookstore place, right? On the second floor and the first floor, first floor, there's a couple of stairs that goes through the bookstore, and then it goes upstairs to the coffee shop. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. So let's say you are in the coffee shop, right? And this guy comes in on the second floor, comes to this coffee shop and starts shooting, right? The good thing about that location is there are a lot of items, a lot of books, a lot of clothes, a lot of food items. So the chances of you getting hit critically, I'm not gonna say it's low, but at least you have something between you and the shooter, you know. So first course of action, I'm bolting towards the stairs, which takes me straight to the first floor, right? The shooter might not know that, but you have a general knowledge of the area. That's why I also said make sure you know your exit and entries of the building. So I'm bolting down the stairs. I'm out. I'm out of the danger area. David, am I making sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I like the idea of you taking cover under a table, but unfortunately, yeah, your chances of survival are very slim through that course of action. Any other questions?
Yeah, officer.
Yes.
So let's say someone gets it in the process. I mean, and maybe maybe we are able to secure the person to somewhere, maybe inside the restroom, and then we are able to barricade the door or something. So what safety, what first aid measures would you recommend?
Well, first of all, yeah, it's quite unfortunate that you see someone get hit and you want to help them. That shouldn't be your number one priority. Your number one priority is to get yourself to a safe location. I know this is gonna sound a little harsh, but you might have to leave that person there. That person that is bleeding. If you can drag them with you and it's safe to do so, do it. But if not, don't put yourself in harm's way, and also giving the shooter, hey, I'm here, because guess what? You're trying to have that person on the floor, bleeding, screaming, crying. The shooter is gonna come to that location and figure out what's going on, right? And guess who they're gonna find? They're gonna find you. And then boom, game over. So you want to try and as harsh as it sounds, leave them there, go to the secure location, barricade the door, and just stay put. Don't do anything else. Stay put. You don't want to give away your location. You stay put until the officers arrive, neutralize the threat, and then they'll give you instructions, and then whoever's hurt, they'll attend to that person. Did I address your concerns or questions?
Yeah, but let's say for some reasons, let's say, or let's say it's oneself. Maybe someone gets hit in the leg or something, and then the person is still able to hobble and find his way somewhere. Like what can he do to stop the bleeding or something?
Right. That's gonna be tricky. You find yourself in this scenario, because I don't even think, for example, if we're in a union, I don't think there are a lot of first aid kits around. So in this case, I think my best advice is to put pressure. If you have an extra piece of clothing on, take it off, rip it off, and tie around that area, and make sure make sure it's a good tie on the area that is injured to stop the bleeding. Um, I think that's the only thing you can do. And depending on where the wound is, it's gonna be really challenging, honestly speaking. But your main priority is to calm that person down, see if you can, tie that injury up, stop the bleeding, put pressure on it, and just try to calm them down, because obviously they're gonna be in pain, they're gonna be crying, and you don't want to give your location away. That is also very, very important. So like I said, do your best to calm them down, encourage them. Don't try not to speak at the voice that I'm speaking now. Make sure your voice is very, very low, but still try to talk to them. Reassure them that help is on the way. Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, thank you, officer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, officer, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
All right. First off, thank you for the presentation.
Of
Truly
course.
valuable information. Would we be able to get the presentation slides?
Yeah, I can send it to the president, yeah, and y'all can have a copy of it.
Oh, okay. I understand that this is for active shooter, right?
Yeah, this is active shooter, yeah.
Well, what I was actually, given what the president told us about, I thought maybe you would also talk about dating violence.
But yeah, this is
violence.
this is just part one. We're not done yet. But
Oh, okay.
I'm just giving you all a chance to like ask the questions, then I'll move on to the next segment of the presentation.
Oh, right. So you talk about that.
Yes, it's part of the menu. Yeah, I haven't forgotten.
Thank you very much.
Of course, yeah. So do we have any other questions before I move to the next slide? Okay. All right. Can anybody see the screen?
It's still on the same screen that it was
Yeah.
on before.
Okay, let's see. Okay, how about now?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so the next one, we're gonna talk about dating violence and dating violence prevention. Let's see. Does anybody in the group have any, have you all had any lessons about this before at all? Or do y'all know what dating violence is? Nobody? Okay, all right. Yeah, all right, so the US Department of Justice defined this as, what's that here? All right, the violence committed by a person who is or has been in a social relationship of a romantic or intimate nature with a victim, and where the existence of such a relationship shall be determined based on consideration of the following factors. All right, the length of the relationship, the type of the relationship, and the frequency of interactions between the persons involved in the relationship. Okay, so that is the general definition of dating violence. All right, so I'm sure most of you have probably heard about domestic violence. People tend to confuse the dating violence and domestic violence. So I'm gonna go ahead and clarify that. All right, so what is the difference? So dating violence is only between the two people in a relationship, and it can include domestic violence. All right, so domestic violence can be between the two people in a relationship or with other members of the family, such as children. So I'll read that again. Domestic violence can be between the two people in a relationship or with other members of the family, such as children. Also, domestic violence applies specifically to instances of physical violence. Excuse me. Okay. All right, so let's cover some stats regarding dating violence. So 57% of college students say it's difficult to identify, and 58% say they don't know how to help somebody who's experiencing it. All right. There is one reason why prevention training is so important, which is why I'm so glad we actually going through this. All right, so nearly half, 43% of dating college women report experiencing violent and abusive dating behaviors. All right, 1 in 3, 36% dating college students has given a dating partner their computer, online access, email, or social network password. And these students are more likely to experience digital dating abuse. Any questions so far? We good? Okay. All right. So some of the long-lasting effects or risk. All right. Violent relationship in adolescence can have serious ramifications by putting the victims at higher risk later in life for substance abuse, eating disorders, risky sexual behaviors, and further domestic violence. Okay. All right. So a healthy versus abusive relationship. All right. You gotta know the difference between that, just in case you're trying to help somebody. All right. So knowing the difference between a healthy and abusive relationship, it's harder than you think, but it's possible to identify. All right. Here are some of the signs of an abusive relationship, which includes or can lead to dating violence. Right? Checking cell phones, emails, or social network without permission. Right? So you're gonna have that jealous guy or that jealous girl. They're all like, you all want to be in your business 100% of the time. Like no respect for your space or your time. That that is a big red flag, right? Extreme jealousy and all insecurity, right? Constant belittling or put downs, explosive temper, right? Every small thing, then they get angry, you know, they make a big deal. They are very dramatic, and it just basically makes the day very, very, very bad. Isolation from family and friends, making false accusations. So what I just read to you, right? If you've seen that, some of your friends or one of your girlfriends or boyfriend comes to you and like, hey, um, this is what is going on between me and John or John Doe or whoever. You should have like a bulb going in your head, ding, 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 hey, Officer Dor covered this out the presentation. Maybe this is a good time to contact the police officer so at least they can be aware of it. You know, you just see one of this, like, for example, checking cell phone, email, or social network without permission. Your friend comes to you and tells you that, and you're like, oh, maybe she's just, he just wants to protect you or blah, 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 and you just ignore it. Well, guess what? The remaining signs are eventually gonna pop up, right? And then before you realize, it's too late. He hits her or she hits him, and then one thing leads to another. Someone is hurt badly or someone is dead, right? So be proactive if you see some of these signs. Try to get him help and try to get in contact with us so we can see how best to address it. Okay. Let's see. So some of the points regarding abusive relationship continuing, constant mood swings towards you, possessiveness, telling someone what they can and cannot do, very, very controlling, uh, repetitive pressuring someone to have sex, physically inflicting pain or hurt in any way. Now, to me personally, as an officer, this second part of the list is like double big red flag. Now, I'm seeing this. Now, I'm picking up that phone, or I'm definitely gonna do whatever I can to intervene. All right. Most of our calls as officers, actually, let me rephrase. Our most dangerous calls as police officers is domestic violence, because you put yourself in a situation, a very violent situation. Moods are swinging left and right. He's mad. She's mad. Um, you don't know what's gonna happen next. You don't know he has a gun in the house. He can easily go in there, pick it up, and basically aim it at a police officer who's trying to like come in and calm things down. And boom, someone is dead or someone is hurt. So it is one of our most dangerous calls that we get as officers. So we try to approach it very carefully. Uh, which one by removing both parties from the house so they don't have access to weapons and stuff like that. Just a little side note. Okay, so dating violence prevention. What are some ways we can prevent dating violence and build healthy relationship? One, develop and maintain good communications with the other person in relationship. Be honest, be open, and sincere. What is the worst thing that's going to happen? Hey, you do something that is not good. No, don't lie to her. Just be honest. The worst thing she's gonna say is probably get mad at you. The next day she's gonna come and say, okay, cool. I appreciate your honesty. Let's move on and try to be better. Right? That's better than just lying or keeping it away from them. That's just gonna develop cracks in the relationship, and that could lead to possible dating violence. All right, respect each other. your time and privacy in real life and online. Build trust with the other person. Okay, trust doesn't have to be one way. It has to be both ways. That's what makes. So excuse me. That's what makes the relationship more healthy. Okay. Learn to compromise. All right, not settle. Learn to compromise, not settle. Be supportive of the other person. Okay. Create healthy boundaries. Let the other person pursue what they want to do, their hobbies. Spend time with their families and other friends. Don't get all jealous and stuff just because they want to go spend time with John Doe and she wants to go or he wants to go spend time with Mary. Like, oh, why you gotta go over there? Like, I want to be with you all the time. That's nah. It's sometimes it can get a little bit, you know, uh, possessive and boring. You don't want to do that. So make sure that you sit down, set the boundaries, and just give them some space. You know. Um, let's see what else. The golden rule. I really love this one. This one of my favorite about this presentation. The golden rule. All right. I'm sure everybody knows the golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated. All right. For example, you don't do something to them that when they do to you, you're not gonna like. You know, it doesn't work like that. So that goes a long way towards building and maintaining a healthy relationship. So if you're in a relationship, always remember the golden rule. Treat them nice, treat you nice. All right. It's like give and take. All right. Appreciate each other. Be thankful that you're in a healthy relationship and let the other person know it. If you're in a relationship, you don't talk, then what is the point of the relationship, right? It doesn't work like that. If you always, even if you're a quiet person, it goes a long way to express your feelings, from time to time, even if not always. A little bit that you open up to them, they'll feel very appreciated. You always gotta let them know. Always gotta let them know. Don't try to keep it to yourself. Okay. Um, Resources for dating violence, right? If you are the victim of dating violence, or you have a friend that is, and you want to help, we have resources on campus that you can. Let's hold a second. That you can use to help them out. Okay. And so we have You Matter, and that's their web address. You have Safe. We have the Counseling Center. We have Title IX, Office of Conflict Resolution and Student Conduct, obviously the police department, and then you have the National Domestic Hotline, data and abuse resources for teen. And I know it says for teen, but also we use that for anybody. If you want this to be confidential, I highly recommend the Counseling Center. Um, talk to them, see how best they can help you um, before things get out of control. Be proactive in your relationship. Always, it's very, very important. Be proactive, be open, be honest. You know, um, if you're not proactive and you just sit there and things get bad, I don't know. It's just because you're not only destroying your life, you think about the other person, right? It's like throwing a stone in you call it in the pond, right? You see that reflective wave that it makes. It's not only about you. So reach out, reach out. We're here for y'all. Reach out. So these are the resources. Once again, I can send it to president, and y'all can have it in hand just in case a friend that is going through this and you want to help them out. Okay, all right. So that is the end of this one. I'm sorry, I'm just reading through this. I just want to get through as soon as possible so we can address any questions you have. Um, any questions, comments? Okay, sounds good. So I'm assuming with the silence, everybody's completely understand what I just went through. Okay, all right. right, so the last one I'm gonna cover is alcohol and drug abuse prevention. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and preach to y'all. Obviously, at some point of your life, I'm sure, you know, your parents or your advisor have, you know, discussed, you know, alcohol and drugs abuse. So I know we are adults, right? We are responsible, and we try to do our best to, you know, to live a good life. But nonetheless, not everybody is the same, you know. So I'm gonna cover this, and if anybody has any questions, please don't hesitate to stop me, and I'll do my best to answer you. Okay? Can everybody see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful. All right. So generally, this presentation is more suited for the freshmen coming into college the first time, because they are the group that are more likely, you know, due to peer pressure and other factors, to go out there and, you know, try to get down, drink, you know, use drugs, that kind of stuff. Um, but at least I know after this presentation, you have at least some knowledge if you want to pass it on to, you know, your younger sister that's coming to college, or younger brother that's coming to college. So at least, you know, they know what to expect. So using alcohol and other substances has become a ritual that students often see as an integral part of their higher education experience, which basically I just said. Many students come to college with established behaviors, and the college environment can exacerbate, I can't even talk right now. Well, it can basically make the problem worse, okay? Studies have shown that the behaviors which are further developed, both positive and negative, during college can stay with a person for the rest of your life. Okay. Let's cover some definitions. The U.S. Surgeon General defines alcohol and drug abuse as excessive use, binge drinking, you know, 5 or more drinks during a single occasion. For men, it's 4 or more drinks during a single occasion. Underage drinking while pregnant, this is for women, and alcohol impaired driving. All right, so for men, 4, 5 more during a single sitting, and then for women, underage drinking while pregnant, and also alcohol impairment. So drug abuse also includes any inappropriate use of pharmaceutical, such as prescription or over-the-counter drugs. So obviously, when I say drugs, it doesn't just cover, like, you know, your pills or anything like that. We're talking about, obviously, like, you know, weed and cocaine, anything that is illicit. So reasons for prevention, all right? Obviously, we know that drugs, alcohol can have a negative impact in your life. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do, status in social and society. It messes a lot of things up. And trust me, I've had a first front row seat experience of what alcohol does to family. And I'll tell you what, I don't think it's something I want to go through again. Yeah, it's not fun, you know. So reasons for prevention, you know, improves the quality of life and overall health, improves academic performance, improves workplace productivity, reduces crime and criminal justice expenses, reduces motor vehicle accidents and fatalities, and also lowers health care costs. I mean, this is common sense, you know. You know, alcohol is not good for you, your lungs, your liver. Uh, you basically just killing yourself, you know. And if you're in school, I mean, guess what that's gonna do to you, right? Some of you might be here on scholarship. Other people come here because of their parents' hard work. And you'll come here, you're gonna come drink, do alcohol, you know, do drugs that you're not supposed to do, and you're gonna just invite problems in your life. You know, that's what I always say. Always think. Don't just think of yourself. Think about what's gonna happen based on your action. You know, like, it affects other people. not just you, your friends, your family, people that care about you. Because the last thing your parents want to hear, who's in, maybe in Ghana or Nigeria or Egypt, they don't want to like, get a phone call from us and we told them, hey, sorry, so and so overdosed and now they're gone. That's devastating. Um, so let's cover some risk and protective factors. Right, so the risk factors are factors associated with greater potential for alcohol and drug abuse. Protective factors are factors associated with reduced potential for alcohol and drug abuse. All right, prevention is so important because risk factors change with age, and therefore the impact of different protective factors change with age as well. Does everybody just understand what I just read? Okay, I'm assuming that's a yes. All right, so let's do an example of some of the factors. All right, risk factors within the family have greater impact on a younger child, while association with drug abusing peers may be more significant risk factor from an adolescent or young adult. Then protective factors for a young child will be to strengthen family bonds, while for an adolescent or young adult will be to concentrate on good study habits and improving grades. All right. So I guess now let's get a little personal. So prevention for omits, right? So prevention is more effective when it is specific to the community, omits, right? What risk factors do we have in our community, right? Time of transition, peer pressure, lack of familiar support system, right? What alcohol and drug abuse issue do we have here at OMS? And we got binge drinking, DUIs, prescription medical, and other illegal drugs. Obviously, like I said, these kids come from all over, all over the country, all over the world, and some things slip through the cracks and then introduce it on campus. And we found fentanyl, which unfortunately claimed the lives of one of the students here, which is quite unfortunate. They go buy weed and then they lace it with that kind of stuff, and then you smoke it and you're done for. Crack, cocaine. It just blows my mind, how this is possible. But then again, it's the world we live in. It's the society that we live in. Prescription medication, right? You hurt yourself and your doctor prescribes opium, right? Or steroids. That thing is so addictive. We had calls where we respond to this person dorm, and then all we found are prescription bottles everywhere. We look up what it is, and guess what? They become so addicted that they have connections, to acquire the prescription without a doctor's approval. They overdose it, out of school, in a hospital for a long time. No, that's it. That's your future right there. It's game over. Even if you manage to you bounce back. Kicking addiction is very, very, very difficult. Your future is in jeopardy now. You're looking for a job. They're gonna look through your history, your records, see what kind of person am I inviting to my company. You know, um, so be aware. These are some of the things just to be aware as you're on campus and just going about your life. But yeah, let's cover some alcohol abuse. The National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism reported in 2015 that is 26.9% of people ages 18 and older engaged in binge drinking in the past month. So 7% reported that they're engaged in heavy alcohol use in the past month. I know this data is a bit outdated. I can find the latest one and I'll forward it to the president so I can take a look at it. Alcohol use or heavy alcohol use is binge drinking more than 5 times in a month. All right, interesting. So binge drinking, alcohol use, binge drinking, that is 5 times in a month, more than 5 times in a month. All right. In 2016, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reported that 497 people in the US were killed in alcohol impaired driving crashes. Folks, that's like 28 people a day. Just let that sink in for a second, yeah? 28 people a day. All because of what? Binge drinking. And not to mention the financial costs associated with that. Billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars. You know, not to mention the ripple effect, you know, the families, the friends involved. It's just absolutely devastating. All right, so in regards with other stats, let's say, for example, in the 18 years, the United States have fought wars in Middle East. So let's say starting from 2001 Afghanistan to now, there has been a total of 6,790 US soldiers killed. That's included in combat and accidental death combined. So if other fatality stats were similar to these, we wouldn't tolerate it as a society. So the example I just read to you, right? In the 18 years, the United States have been fighting war in the Middle East. If this was going on here, right, home, and not like outside the United States, I doubt we'll tolerate that as a society, because it's simply unacceptable. That's a lot of people dying, you know, all because of alcohol abuse. So because of alcohol, in only 1 year, we killed more US citizens at home than all soldiers combined in almost 2 decades of fighting. So if over 10,000 US soldiers were getting killed every year, what would we do? Why do we accept DUIs? All right, I'm gonna stop here, and I want you guys to think about it for a second, all right? If over 10,000 US soldiers were getting killed every year, what would we do? Why does DUI, I kind of feel like it's become a norm, right? In college campuses. So I'm gonna open the platform and let y'all, I wanna see what y'all think about this. Why has this become a norm? As if it's not happening. If over 10,000 US soldiers were getting killed every year, what would we do? Any thoughts?
I mean, the first thing is, if 10,000 soldiers are getting killed every year, there will probably even be no country. I mean, the country won't be safe at all.
Right? Right? So let me put it this way, right? If over 10,000 US soldiers were getting killed every year, what would you do as a citizen? Like, you know, this is in relations to DUI, because this statement is basically saying that 10,000 US soldiers, right, are getting killed every year. That's the equivalent of what DUI are doing to citizens, college campuses, ordinary citizens that are not on campuses. So basically, I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yes, you are. I think that I mean, definitely, if 10,000 US soldiers were dying every year in a particular war, the US would have pulled out like years ago. Like, I mean, after the first year, like, definitely that would have happened. I think that with alcohol, though, it's like, I mean, first of all, it's very pervasive to in well culture to find people like drinking alcohol, you know. So that's one thing, you know, like are we going to just ban alcohol and say that nobody should drink alcohol? I mean, they tried that before and like it didn't go too well, you know. So it's like, okay, is it? I think it's kind of like a harder like thing to solve, you know, because it's like you can you can't just say, okay, let's not drink alcohol, you know. But at the same time, like, you're also having the problem that if there was no alcohol, if people didn't drink alcohol, then we wouldn't have DUIs, and those people, 10,000 people would have been dying every year. So, I mean, it's for me, I just think that it's not an easy fix, you know. Like, it's something that we shouldn't tolerate, and we should like speak out against it and try to raise more awareness. But it's like, as long as people can still drink alcohol, I think it's something that will still be happening. So I don't know how to like fully solve the problem.
Right, right. Okay, that's a good contribution. I appreciate that. Anyone else? Why do we accept DUIs? Why have we? I don't want to use the word comfortable, but it's like now it's like a norm, right? Oh, it's just another DUI. Right? It's not. Someone just died. Why do you think as a society we have accepted it, you know, as it is?
The people producing it are making money. It's creating employment. Politicians are gaining from it too. And we have ended up to accept it as just another vice. Thank you.
Okay. Good point. Anyone else? Because I really want you to think about this. This is something, even as we speak, someone just lost their life due to DUI. And every second someone dies on this earth. And I can bet you DUI is always going to be a contributing factor. If not a direct contribution, at least alcohol was involved. So if you're with friends, right, you go out to drink, you know, what do you think? What do you think would be the best thing to do if this friend of yours like, oh, I drove here and I only had a couple of drinks, I can drive everybody home, I'm good. Like, what will be the first action? What will be your first course of action?
I mean, first I would want to assess his sanity by first maybe asking him a few questions, and we'll be sure that he's fit to drive. I mean, and then if he fails the basic assessment, then we have to find another way.
Okay, good stuff, good stuff. And what if yourself are tipsy as well?
I mean, I'm assuming there will be someone else that will come with us. But I mean, if there's no other person, maybe we'll Uber home or something.
Wonderful. That's what I wanted to hear. Wonderful. So that's all. Those are really good response. You know, we stop students on campus. You know, the driver is drunk. The alleged designated driver, guess what? It's also tipsy. You know, and it just baffles my mind. You know, why, if you care about this person, if you care about your friends, why, if you know, and you know that you're drunk, why would you let him get behind the wheel, drive you home? You know, and one of the ridiculous excuses they gave me one time was, oh, you know, from the square to campus, it's not that far, and we're going below the speed limit. I was completely baffled. I was just, so what would have happened if you caused an accident, you know, because of that action? You know, it's something I always scratch my head, you know, dealing with students, and especially DUI. You know, we don't play with that. You know, whether it's alcohol or drug related, there's a good chance, 99% chance you'll go to jail. You know, because me personally, I've lost someone. He wasn't the person that was like responsible for the accident, but a student went out, got drunk, alcohol included, and drugs as well, coming on campus, complete disregard to all the traffic controls on campus, and caused the death of a friend. It's very, very hard. It is absolutely very, very hard. But I just wanted to just share that Well, yeah, I think about it every day, but there's so much we can do, as law enforcement. So this presentation, I really hope that at least it touches a nerve, you know, that it's not just me just talking or just giving you stats or anything like that. Like it actually touches a nerve that when you go out or someone invites you to a house party, at least like remember something, like, oh right, Officer Dor talked about this. Yeah, maybe we should do this way instead of that way, because it's always better. It's always to be safe than sorry. All right, so let me try to wrap this up, and then I'll take final questions, and I'll let y'all be. I appreciate everyone here, and your paying attention, contributing. It tells me that y'all interested and eager to like absorb this information and use it to better your lives. Okay, so drug abuse. According to Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration, in the 2014 national survey, 21.5 million American adults aged 12 and older battled a substance use disorder. Almost 80% of individuals suffering from a substance use disorder in 2014 also struggle with an alcohol use disorder. Almost 8 million American adults battled both a mental health disorder and a substance use disorder, or co-occurring disorders in 2014. 21.5 million American adults, folks. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. All right, on the National Institute on Drug Abuse website, they show that over 50% of all drug abuse emergency room visits were due to misuse or abuse of prescription medication. All right, alcohol and drug abuse prevention. Now let's come back to campus, right? So what are some of the protective factors we can use here at Ole Miss, right? Positive peer pressure. I feel like I just covered this already. Positive peer pressure, right? Tell your friends they don't have to drink or use drugs to have a good time. Real talk. Like real talk. Tell your friends they don't have to drink or use drugs to have a good time. It just ain't worth it, man. Plan activities that doesn't involve alcohol and or drugs. All right. Again, we are both adults. I'm sure most people here are over 21 and most likely drink, right? So I'm not necessarily saying don't drink at all, right? Do it in moderation. Know your limits, right? If you're reaching that limit, oh, okay, then maybe it's a good time to stop. Either you're driving or not, because you don't want to find yourself in a situation, that's just gonna end up so bad that your future will be over. Jail time, court fees, lawsuits. It's just not worth it. So know your limits, do it in moderation, and just watch out. Watch out for your people. Watch out for your friends. All right. Plan your evening out. Go with friends you trust, and no, don't have an alcohol drug problem. All right. So people you hang out with, how well do you know them? Are they influencing you? Hey, Charlie, like let's go drink some alcohol. I got a little weed here. Just take a hit, man. It's gonna make this party bomb, man. Like, no, you don't want that. Make sure that people you're hanging out with is someone that's gonna help you prepare your future. Like, somebody that is you can look up to, and yeah, your future job are gonna call him and like, hey, so Mr. Bakar, you know him. Can you tell me something about him? Oh yeah, he's hardworking. He's that, you just want positive things out of people you hang out with. That's what I'm trying to say here. All right. Don't drive even if you've only had one drink or are properly taking prescribed medication or medicine. All right. Don't do it. Not worth it. Make sure you have a designated driver. I'm gonna scratch that. If you go out and you drink, all right, if you go out and drink, I would rather you leave your car in the square or at your friend's house. If you don't have a designated driver, just take a cab home, take an Uber home. Like someone just said earlier, it's so much better, right? It's so much cheaper than you going to jail or you going to court and messing up your future, all right? And then if that doesn't work at all, bro, walk home. You got two legs, man, walk home. And also do it with a friend. All right. If there's no Uber, there's no cab, and you've been drinking, just leave everything on the square, walk home. You get on campus, you can give us a call. We'll come give you an escort ride to wherever you're going, as long as it's campus walk or within campus. Okay. Even if it's not, we'll make an exception and we'll drive you to your house. If that doesn't work, call OPD and they will give you a ride home as well. We want you to be safe. Then sorry. Okay. All right, so prevention for prescription and medicine. Keep an inventory of your prescription. Everything that the doctor gave you, make sure you have a good record of it. Secure them in a cabinet, locking keys, especially if you have kids with you, or some friends. Like I said, this goes back to, you don't know, if they have a addiction problem. So make sure that that thing is tucked away secure so they don't come across it and possibly triggering their addictive behaviors. All right. Use the medicine only as directed by your doctor. All right. Properly dispose of unwanted, unused, or expired prescription. Maintain a healthy bond with family back home. I know a lot of us are international students here. That is very, very important. All right. Develop a good support system here as well. Go out, meet new people. You could be talking to a future boss or a future wife or a future husband. You never know, right? Build new healthy relationships, people that will propel you to the next level. All right. Join school, academic organization. I'm sure most of you here are probably doing that right now, which is a positive contribution to your life and your career, your future career, right? Let's see. Yeah. All right, maintain and develop healthy eating and exercise habit. Maintain and develop positive hobbies and life skill. All right, know what resources are available. All right, as always, Ole Miss has a lot of numerous resources on campus to help y'all. We are here for y'all. You are the reason why we exist. Right, without the students, there wouldn't be an Ole Miss. So these are some of the available resources we have: the Student Health Center, the Counseling Center, the Police Department. Then we got some wellness education resources with a link to it. Health promotion, also another resource guide that is very, 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 very helpful. Right. So, Mr. President, like I said, I can forward you this information. If you want to redo it again with when you'll have another meeting, and what I'm welcome to, or if you're at a party and you want to bring this up, this are very good topics to talk about, because I don't think a lot of people know a lot about what we just talked about, and now you can go out there, reach out, let them know, hey, this is not the right way. Let's find another way to do this, right? So it makes me feel so good. At least I don't want to use the word agents. Yeah, let's do that. Let's use their agents. At least I have some agents out there that's going to be looking out for other Ole Miss students or family and friends, protect against themselves from doing something stupid or killing somebody. So yeah, that's all I got. Questions, comments?
Yeah, Officer Dor.
Yes, sir. Let me see if
Yeah,
can-
I really appreciate the efforts and the time you've put into all this presentation and making us understand all these issues. I really, really appreciate it. But something baffles me about the point you made earlier.
Okay.
So you said, so let's say I go to the square to drink, and I go with a friend, and then we are both complete, we are drunk, and we can't go home, and we decide to walk. Now I heard this about the US, that if you get drunk in public, it's an offense.
Yes.
Now, if we are drunk and then we call the police, you said you can give us a ride home or escort us home or something. So is that not a kind of trap? Looking into
that's a very good question. All right. So there's the violation, public drunk, right? So you're drunk, you're walking around, being belligerent, cursing and doing all that. Yeah, we're definitely going to take you to jail for that, because you're disturbing the peace. But the situation you just described, right? You are making the self-awareness like, hey, I'm drunk. I know I cannot drive home. Mr. Officer, this is the situation. Can you please help get me home, or maybe call an Uber for me? No, we're not gonna take you to jail for that. No, that's like a double whammy. We can't do that to you. All right, we'll go try and make sure that you get home safely, you and your friends, right? Than to take you to jail. Now, if you come up to us and your attitude completely switches and you've been defensive, you've been combative, you've been yeah, that you basically even given us the go ahead to take you to jail. Some officers, they'd rather take you to jail to go sleep it off, and you wake up the next day and figure things out, than getting behind the wheel and driving home and causing some accident. So to answer your question, no, we're not gonna take you to jail just because you are a little drunk and you come to us and say, hey, officer, can you help us out? We're trying to get home safely. Bro, we will clap for you, man. You will be the hero of the day for actually having the bravery to come to us and say, hey, this is my situation, help me out. What can you do for me? I hope I answered your question.
Absolutely, officer. Absolutely.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
of course.
Are there any more questions?
Um, it might be a strange question. I don't come from a background where people drink alcohol.
Mhm.
I don't drink alcohol.
Okay.
It is still very, very weird for me that people drink alcohol. And I feel like I am very stranger to this culture. I don't relate to it. So even I might not be able to recognize that someone is drunk. I might feel that they are non-stable, but not necessarily it comes to my mind they are drunk or so. Do you have any advice for me to be more alert or aware?
Yes, yes. So there are a couple of things you can look out for someone who's drunk. One, slur speech. Obviously, you can hear the way I talk, right? I talk a little fast, but someone who is tipsy or drunk, they're gonna have slur in the words, right? Something like that. Slur speech, right? And you look at their eyes, it's gonna be bloodshot red. The eyeballs is gonna be bloodshot red. That's an indication that this person is under the influence of alcohol. And one, the way they walk, their muscle coordination is gonna be off. They're gonna attempt to walk, but at the same time, try to like keep the balance from falling. Right? It's like, have you seen someone walking on a tightrope with no um, safety harness? David, have you seen something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so picture that, right? So you see this person trying to balance himself, trying to make sure that they don't fall. No, you're gonna associate that with someone who is also drunk. And also their breath. I don't know, since you're not associated with alcohol, you don't have, you say you don't drink it, you're not the best. Let's see. The breath has a very unique smell. Um, David, have you ever smelled what like an orange?
Oh, yeah.
So
I understand that. I can relate to the smell. That
okay,
I can understand. But
okay,
that is
good.
if I was near enough to
Right,
get there.
right, right.
Yeah.
So all right, so the first three what do you call it? The first three that I just gave you, that is a good indications to watch for. If you see someone walking around almost like trying to fall over, but they keep themselves from falling over, their eyes being red shot and the slur speech, if you see these indicators, yeah, that's a red flag that this person is under the influence.
And what should I do if they are around me? Like if there's someone drunk or 2 or 3 people drunk around me in transportation or in somewhere where I am.
Right, call us because this person could be a contributing factor to an accident. Could walk in the street unknowingly, get hit by a car, you know, go walk in a ditch somewhere and fall to their death. So they are a danger to themselves, to you, and to other people, to society. So if you see someone like that, give us a call, and we'll come out there and help as best as we can.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Officer, can I ask a follow-up question to
Yes.
what you just said?
Yes.
So speaking of seeing someone who is really drunk and calling you, like, I may be scared of getting the person in trouble. So is there an assurance that if I call you or any other police officer, if any other police officer comes to meet the person will not get into trouble?
This is where officer discretion comes in, and also we take into consideration the some factors of surrounding the situation, right? So if you're the caller and you say, "Hey, officer, I saw this person walking around. He seems drunk. Um, I'm not calling y'all to take him to jail. Can y'all like help him out? Like you the citizen telling us that, shows us that hey, you really want to help this person out. Me personally, I'm not gonna take this person to jail. Most likely give them an escort back to their place. If they have a roommate, I'll make sure that the roommate looks after them, so they're not puking and choking on the puke and stuff like that. But I understand where you're coming from, though. Like you calling us, and this person is automatically going to go to jail. No, 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 no. It varies. It varies with each situation. But the purpose of you calling us is to make sure that we protect this person against himself, and also protecting the public as well. I
Okay.
hope my explanation makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I hope you're not gonna hesitate on calling us to to come help this person just in case you see them.
I mean, yeah, that's the essence of asking the question. But I
Okay.
mean, I don't. You've really answered the question well. I mean,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Good.
I have a question in specific about these cases, but also in general.
Okay.
When would it be inappropriate that I called 911 and I asked for help, and then after the officer come, it turns out I am wrong, and then something will be against me because I called 911 without the need of real help.
So you basically asking me, will you get in trouble for calling 911 to
Yes,
something that
that's my
didn't deserve
question.
our attention, right? So Ole Miss has an amnesty policy they just enacted. We're not gonna penalize students for calling 911, even if it's deemed unnecessary. That is not necessarily abusing the system, and actually calling 911 as a joke, that is an offense. You go to jail for that. But if you genuinely call 911 in an attempt to help somebody, and it turns out that our services as police officers wasn't needed, no, we're not gonna penalize you for that, David. What we're gonna do is we're gonna call the appropriate professionals, like for example, EMS, for them to come and assess the situation and help this person. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, of course.
Any other questions? Okay, I'll take that as a no. So, Officer Dor, I just want to thank you very much for putting together this presentation for us. It was very timely and necessary, to gain all the information that you provided in this in your talk. And so again, I just thank you very much for taking out the time to talk to us and build a better relationship between the university police and our association. Thank you very much.
Of course, not a problem. Like I said, y'all reach out anytime. I'm hoping that once COVID comes down, I'll get to know y'all, individually much better. And also, just whatever y'all need, I'm here for y'all. We'll talk. We're brothers, from different mothers, from different countries, but we're still brothers. So thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
Is it possible for us to get your contacts, officer?
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. You have a pen and paper ready?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So my email is ssdor, so SSDOR at olemiss.edu. My office number 662-915-2985. 7234. Now, when you call, you probably have to ask for me because the dispatcher is probably going to answer that call. And if you come to, do y'all know where the police station is at?
Is it the one on campus or the one in Oxford?
The one on campus.
Is it beside RH1?
It's in Kennard Hall on Rebel Drive.
I don't think I know where.
No, okay,
Yeah,
not a
I know
problem.
where the food bank is.
Yes, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Mm.
And let me also give y'all my personal number just in case y'all need me and I'm not on duty. And I'll be able to help you out if needed. So that number is gonna be 662-832-6349. And also for future reference, I'm putting together a self-defense class for anybody that is interested. So let me know. It's gonna be taijutsu and also just normal karate self-defenses. Just in case you never know. Life is crazy, right? Just in case you might have to use it to defend yourself against someone crazy. So I'm putting that together, and hopefully I'll get in contact with the president, and I'll fast forward some information to him to give it to y'all, just in case somebody's interested.
Okay, sir. Okay, cool.
Sounds good. All right then.
All right, y'all take care.
Yes, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Take care, sir.
So I'm guessing like pretty much everybody wants to leave. I had like a couple of riddles to ask, but if you guys don't want to do that, we can just end the meeting now.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you mean.
So I said like I also planned this for this to also be like a riddle night, so just come in and ask some riddles and like you guys try and like answer them. So I mean, I don't know if you guys still want to do that for a couple of minutes before we go.
I am down for it.
Okay.
I think some of us left already. We are just 7 left.
Yeah. Okay. So that means we shouldn't do that anymore. Okay.
I mean, I will suggest that maybe you can save it for our next gathering.
Next gathering. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
but
good.
really, I really enjoyed this event, man. It was really, really nice.
Okay. All right, then I'll upload the recording to the WhatsApp group then.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.